Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about a situation in David's life and see how that can be applied in our lives. 1 Samuel chapter 30th, the beginning of the chapter. If you have time, please go ahead and read the full chapter. In the chapter, we see that David's people, where he has camped in that specific place, Amalekites, they're coming and raiding the place, and then they're basically destroying the village, the city that they are in, and they're taking all of their wives and children as captives to their place. So when David and his men, they return back from whatever that they were doing, they come back and see that the situation of the state that they are placed in, and then they got so discouraged. They saw that their children and wives are missing, and then they got so discouraged, and they started weeping and crying. And it's recorded in the Bible that say that when they saw the ruins, when they saw the things that they have left behind, when they had a visual on that of their families, they wept so hard that they could not weep anymore. Have you ever been in a situation that you wept so much and then you think, I don't have any more tears? I don't know what to do. I don't have any more strength to cry anymore. Have you been in a situation like that? I think all of us can relate to a position like that. Right? So David is in a situation, and all of his men are in a similar situation. But we see the men along with David, what they were doing, and then David, what he was doing. So the problem is that the people who were with David, the other men, right, they saw the problem and then they were so fixated on the problem, they lost all their strength. The mistake that they did is that they failed to renew their strength. What happened is that they were so much fixated on the problem, talking about it or worrying about it, which is reasonable. I understand that. But when they get so stuck in that, it's recorded in the Bible that David was now in great danger because all of his men were very bitter about losing their sons and daughters. And then they began to talk about killing or stoning David, right? So they got so bitter. They do not have any strength. When you don't have any strength from God, we make stupid decisions. We make foolish decisions. We do things that we are not supposed to do. We say things that we are not supposed to do. We become irrational, right? Because we are human beings. But we see the men with David. That's what happened with them. They failed to refill their strength. They became bitter, and then they started thinking about so many bad things. On the other hand, David, what was David doing? But David, it's recorded here in the Bible that David found strength in the Lord his God. He chose to go find strength in his Lord. How did this happen? Right? He did not have any strength. He also must have cried and wept like everybody else. It's not like he had some supernatural strength, but he simply chose to take an effort to go and refill his strength in God, which the other men failed to do. He went and renewed his strength. He went and refilled his strength because he knew God is his strength. God is the source of his strength. We see in various chapters in the Bible, Psalms 18:1, he says, I love you, Lord, you are my strength. And then Psalms 18:32, he says that God arms me with strength and he makes my way perfect. And again, the last one, and he goes a step more, and then he says, Psalms 86:16, give your strength to your servant. Save me, the son of your servant. Here David is asking, first he said, you are my strength, and you arm me with strength. But then he goes a level further and he says, give your strength to your servant. So now we know where David got his strength from. He basically got the strength of God because he is asking God, give your strength to your servant. And of course, God would have given the same strength to David. Right? So that is the difference between the men who were with David and David and what he chose to. So today, right, I encourage you, whatever situation that we are in today, will you choose to find strength in our God? Right? We are tempted so many times to find solace in so many other things, right? But I encourage you, and as I was reading this, God's word encouraged me as well. The only place that we can find the strength is from God. Sometimes we tend to find comfort from people, which is sometimes God uses people to say certain things, which is good. But our primary source of strength strength should be from our God, not from just people. A person can talk for an hour or two, but in the end, they are not going to renew your strength. Your strength can be renewed only from God, right? Or are we looking out for strength or comfort from external things of the world, or temporary, or temporary solutions, or temporary fixes, or band-aids to the solution? But today, I encourage you to go find and seek the strength from God, because when we ask God, He will give His strength to us. And then we see in the end what happens when after David finds strength in Lord is God. What happens? He's telling to the priest, bring me the ephod. Bring me the ephod. The ephod is worn by a priest, but in this case he's telling a priest to go get the ephod and come, which means that he wanted to wear it, because he's not a priest, but it is that he's wearing it because he wanted to communicate directly with God. So it is possible for God to talk with any one of us. When we are filled with God's strength, we will be more and more encouraged to have a closer and closer relationship with God. We all become orally connected with God. We will be able to hear His voice through His word, through His audible voice, through His tangible presence in our lives. I pray and I encourage each one of you, may God fill each and every one of you with His supernatural strength. God bless you.